Dear colleagues, my name is Adela Jarolimkova. I am from the Charles University in Prague, and I'm going to present the results of our part of the TechHelp study, which focuses on how do people help each other with digital technologies. We took part in this study because we wanted to acquire some qualitative data, and digital technologies help giving and offering. And we wanted also to find some directions for informal learning activities in this topic. First of all, I would like to introduce the field of community informatics because our study is based on knowledge generated within this field. Community informatics is a field of study that focuses on the social and cultural factors shaping the development and diffusion of new digital technologies and their effect upon community development, regeneration, and sustainability. It is closely connected with the concepts of digital divide and digital literacy, and it also research the role of libraries in these processes. And from the theoretical point of view, it is connected with the theories of social network and social capital and uses their concepts. Our study is based on two important concepts. One of them is informatics moment, and the other one is informatics life course. Informatics moment was first presented by Kate Williams as the moment when a person seeks help in using some digital technology that is new to him or her. And Williams also pointed out for literacies, for types of literacies that are involved in informatics moment, and these are basic, computer, library, and domain literacy. The informatics moment concept was further developed by Noah Leinster, who incorporated it in his informatics life course concept. Informatics life course is populated by many informatics moments, episodes of seeking, getting, and also offering help with technology. And the frequency of the informatics moments is also an essential indicator of one's digital literacy, because according to Leinster, the person who can acquire whatever help he or she needs during these informatics moments can be considered digitally literate. And the informatics life course concept also illustrates the temporal dimension of digital literacy. To be digital literate in one stage of life does not mean that the person will continue to be digital literate in another stages. So these are two important concepts for our study, and now I'm going to describe what the study is about. The TechHelp study is an international qualitative study. The concept was created by the US and Chinese researchers, members of the iSchool consortium, and it was presented on the 2019 iConference, and other members of the iSchools consortium were encouraged to join what we did. And the main goal of the study is to find out how do people help each other with digital technologies using structured interviews. And the secondary goal was to involve students as data collectors and researchers. So students had to collect the data, and they were also encouraged to offer help with technology problems during the interviews. And the common research instrument was created by the US and Chinese researchers, and it was translated into individual national languages for use. The interview focused on four parts, four topics. First of them was current technology use of the participants. The participants were asked to tell us what digital devices they used and in which settings, such as home or school. Then the second part was focused on describing different informatics moments. The participants were asked to recount a moment when they needed help with digital technology, to describe what the problem was, whom they asked for help and why, and then to describe a moment when they provided help to other people. So when they were on the other side of the problem. Yet another part concerned with the evolution of participants' use of digital technology, means the informatics life course. And the last part consisted of questions focused on the future use of the digital technology, how the participants view their future use. We collected the data from November 2019 and to January 2020, so before the COVID-19 pandemic. The responses were translated into English for the international comparison, and unfortunately, it has not been published yet because of the COVID. But we were allowed to present our own data in whichever mode we choose. So we coded the data in the Atlas TI software, and we tried to find some patterns and common categories. We interviewed 20 participants, 11 women and 9 men. Most were born in the 80s and 90s. I should probably comment on that. The students, according to the field study manual, could choose whatever participants they wanted. So they could interview their peers, mates, or family members. And it is, of course, a weakness of our study that the sample is not representative, but we did not aim at representativeness from the very beginning. But we can say that the participants come from different settings, both from a large city and smaller towns or villages. And the results are divided to the 4 main categories according to the 4 main topics. So again, current use of digital technologies, informatics moments, informatics life course, and future use of digital technologies. Well, the answers to about the current use of digital technologies shows its ubiquity, both in work, school, and in leisure time. Most participants answered that they use the technology in work, school, or home, but we had some unexpected answers such as church, And nearly all the participants use more than 2 devices, usually 3 or 4, smartphones, PCs, laptops, but for example, the virtual assistants are not very much used. The participants described different informatics moments. The problems ranged from problems with hardware, software, or some different tasks. You can see examples of codes in the table. And for help, the participants usually turn to family, friends, colleagues, and technology providers and technology support, but family and friends prevail. I would like to quote one participant now because she formulated the reason why she turns to her closest people, because she said, I turn to my friend because I am not embarrassed to show my inability in front of her. So that is probably the very reason why people turn to their closest. As for the informatics life course, participants described it in different terms. Some of them described the evolution of their use of technology in terms of devices they were using. So, for example, first I have began with a smartphone first, and then I got my first laptop, and so on. But some of them used the attitudinal view. So they one participant said, I was first very enthusiastic about the technology, and gradually I became more and more disgusted. This was a very strong statement. But we found some distinct trajectories, life course trajectories, described in terms of purpose to which the participants use the technology. The younger ones usually started with entertainment and communication. They started with playing games, watching videos, and then they shifted to school or work task, and the older ones started with work or school task and shifted to home use or entertainment and so on. When we asked the participants about the future use of digital technologies, most of them wanted to preserve the level of interaction with technologies, not to augment it. They understand the necessity of digital technologies in our current life, but there is a lot of caution and awareness of the problems connected with excessive technology use. Some expressed worries about addiction. Again, a quote from the interview. Digital technologies should make my life easier, not more difficult. We wanted to acquire some direction for informal learning activities. So what we can tell from the results, what the results tell us. Our participants feel they have enough help and they can get whatever help they need. So that's nice, but it's not probably representative, because nearly all our participants are very are quite well off in terms of their economic situation, and we did not focus on disadvantaged communities. But the findings show that people usually turn to their family and friends for help with digital technology. It means preference for so-called strong ties. And this preference for strong ties is usually explained by the existing trust or trustworthiness of the person who is asked for help. We know that digital technologies are necessary for a person to be a real part of society and to reveal ignorance of something digital connected can make person vulnerable and can hinder her or his learning. So first of all, for the success of some informal learning activities in digital technology field, it is necessary to create an environment of trust and safe environment. And this environment, this safe environment, can be very well created in libraries. They are viewed as safe places, as places where different generations meet. Also, from the description of the individual informatics moments, we saw that these moments usually incorporated both problem solving and knowledge transfer. So it is important to base the learning activities on real life problems. I think one of the great examples of such learning activities or services is the service described by Kate Williams in her research, when she described the cyber navigator service in libraries, where people could come and solve their technology problems together with librarians. And the third point is intergenerational learning. There is great potential in involving the younger generation in helping the older one, because we saw that parents usually turn to their children for help, but it can be also vice versa. Well, our results are probably not very surprising, but we have some qualitative data on the help giving and offering, and it proved that strong ties in help seeking and providing are important. On the top of that, we tried to propose some digital technologies cohort according to different life course trajectories, but this concept is more described in our full paper. We are aware that the sample is small and the data and the results are definitely not generalizable, and we want to continue with some maybe quantitative research of a larger scale. But I think that the research gave us some important thoughts, and I hope we will be able to develop it further. So that's all. Thank you for your attention, and now I hope there is some space for questions.